So, talking about a guy who maybe is looking to make the leap, but let's talk about some true breakout guys who've yet to really have their time in the spotlight. Adam Rank, for you, who's a guy who's looking to break out this year?
Well, I would say Chris Olave because, well, he's breaking out because he's a rookie, so he hasn't really had an opportunity. But I do really love this fit for him in New Orleans. When we were coming through draft season, I had said Chris Olave just looks like a New Orleans wide receiver. Like, he just has the stature, like everything about him. And maybe it was the huge plays he made for Ohio State in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome that led me to this conclusion. But I think that if he's out there with a healthy Michael Thomas, he is going to be taking up so many of the targets. He is going to be a perfect complement to Jameis Winston. So when you start looking at which rookie wide receiver you want to focus in on, I know we love George Pickens. Olave is somebody you should not be sleeping on.
I love that pick, especially my hype for Jameis Winston yesterday. Now, this guy's not a rookie, but he is in a new place. It's JuJu SmithSchuster. I can't believe I'm saying this because he's burned me so many times in fantasy. But the situation in Kansas City is really, really favorable for him. When I was out in St. Joe covering the Chiefs in training camp, it was really interesting to see how the Chiefs were utilizing JuJu in the end zone. I think this is going to be a huge upside on top of the fact that he'll also get a lot of those check down passes from Patrick Mahomes. Mark my words, this is the year for JuJu to return to fantasy dominance.
Well, I'm looking at T. Higgins to kind of go along with your Jamar Chase. I think this is going to be a super pass-happy offense yet again. Remember, there's no C.J. Uzomah, and if you look at T. Higgins, I always like the guys who need to get paid, right? He's looking at all of those wide receiver salaries, and he's saying, I deserve that. I want that. I'm going to be your fantasy star here, just like I was at the last end of the season last year. From weeks 12 to 17, he was number 4 amongst wide receivers. He has at least 100 targets in each of his 2 career seasons. And remember, he's a second-round pick, which means they don't get that 5th-year option, which means in 2 years they need to pay him. So he needs to get going for you.
Yeah, that Bengals passing game looks fiery this year. I'm looking at Michael Pittman in Indianapolis. And last year, Pittman was a guy who stepped up, had a pretty good season, nearly 90 catches, over 1,000 yards. And he did that with some sort of erratic quarterback play with Carson Wentz there. I think if he can do that with Wentz, now they bring in Matt Ryan, who maybe is not the same quarterback he was a handful of years ago, still a very good passer, and it's going to really pepper Pittman with targets. Is it sort of like the Cowboys? They're another team looking for some complementary pass catchers. Maybe it's Paris Campbell. Maybe it's Alec Pierce. We do know, though, Michael Pittman is going to get plenty of targets in Indianapolis this year. All right, so those are the guys we are really targeting and like. We have to talk about some guys to avoid. And Cynthia, I really thought we were friends here, so you have to explain what this one is for me.
Okay, well, I'm avoiding it for the ROI, right? It's all about where you draft someone and expectations. So when I look at Michael Pittman, I think he needs to be sort of put down a little bit more. Not that he's not good, not that he's not someone worth drafting at all, but I think that because of the volume of the run in this offense, that's the number one strike. And then number 2, I think they're going to look to their tight ends. I just watched this preseason game where the starters started. I don't think their pass offense is as bad as it looked against the Bills' 2s this past week. However, in the red area, those were all 12 personnel formations with when you had the ones out there. So when I'm looking at that, I'm just worried about lack of touchdown upside for Pittman Jr., where he's being drafted. So maybe go down a round or 2. Maybe he's down there, 4th round, which might be a little bit better, a little bit lower, and you'll get the nice ROI. That sounds low, but it's not crazy. It's just red area use.
It's not crazy, Cynthia. I get exactly what you're saying, and I'm going to use that point to describe why I'm going to avoid Cooper Kupp this season. Obviously, the most prolific season in fantasy last year, but it's going to be hard to replicate that production. And to me, having to draft him in the 1st round, it's way too rich for me. And all it takes is one person in your league to be like, you know what, I think I'm going to go with Cooper Kupp. It's an automatic play, which is fine. That person is not going to be me. And I would be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to let you all know, Allen Robinson is going to be the wide receiver that you want to draft for this Rams team, and you can get him in the 4th or 5th round. So I'd rather wait on it because of the return on investment. I'm not slamming Cooper Kupp or anything like that. I'm not Justin Jefferson, but I just think that for the price, I got to avoid him.
God, you gotta love a little preseason shade between these fun and dynamic wide receivers. Now, the guy that I'm avoiding this season is Tyler Lockett, and it's no shade against him, just kind of shady the situation that's happening for the Seahawks in that offense. Now, the thing with Tyler Lockett is that he's infamous for roller coaster fantasy production, and this doesn't mean anything better when he has a huge downgrade in quarterback in either Drew Lock or Geno Smith. He's only been a top 12 fantasy receiver once in the last 7 NFL seasons, and that's with the dynamic Russell Wilson at the QB spot. So Tyler Lockett, sadly, I'm out on. If you're going to go for any pass catcher, I think it's a lot safer to go with DK Metcalf.
I keep telling myself I'm avoiding Tyler Lockett, that I'm on the board in the 9th round and I need a 3rd receiver, and I just ended up taking him anyway. A guy I'm looking to avoid is Amari Cooper, and I think right now he's being drafted at what I consider to be his absolute ceiling, and even that is a 6th or 7th round pick. We're drafting him under the assumption that right now, as we know it, Deshaun Watson suspended for 6 games. If it ends up being more, then I think the bottom completely falls out on Amari Cooper. I just think the range of outcomes is far too volatile, and I don't really want any part of it. I'm staying away from any pass catchers in that Cleveland offense.